Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is the weekend, so let's do the whole doggone thing. Saturday, the 2nd, National Hummingbird Day. Heidi has some hummingbirds of her own. You have like
they're
a
not
hummingbird.
my hummingbirds.
Well,
they come to visit.
when they come to visit, I always say, hey, Heidi's hummingbirds, how are you doing? International Bacon Day. Ooh, I'm a fan.
You know, who isn't, really?
Even I know some vegetarians that even
Yeah.
like bacon. I mean, bacon's good. World Coconut Day, National Play Outside Day, World Beard Day. I cannot grow a beard. I have a goatee. When I grow a beard, it looks like a strap-on beard. I have a bald spot.
It does. There's a little line on each
little bald
side.
spot right by each ear. So
Yeah, it's
like,
kinda funny.
Yeah. National Tailgating Day, National VJ Day, and National Blueberry Popsicle Day. Just blueberry, though.
I've never had a blueberry popsicle.
Well, today is the day. This weekend is the day. And Sunday, the 3rd, is September 3rd is National Pastor Spouses Day, U.S. Bowling League Day, and National Welsh Rarebit Day. So all of that happening. A lot of weird stuff this weekend. And I've got a guest joining me. Robin Gerber is the author of a book about Barbie. So before the movie, there was a book. And I'm going to just say that movie is so popular because of her book. Whether they're connected or not, I'll say that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
It's more important now than ever before to have a better credit card. We would love to help at bettercreditcards.com. We offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we can help you find a good fit for you at bettercreditcards.com.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to bettercreditcards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. If you're going to go on a first date, maybe meeting up for a meal is not a good idea, according to a survey. More than 4 in 5 adults believe dinner dates are the hardest to get away from. So you might want to plan your escape route ahead of time just in case it doesn't go well. The survey of 2,000 active dating Americans found that while more than half, 56%, tend to go on dinner dates and a movie for a first date, some other top choices that are a little more escape-friendly, half prefer just a casual drink, followed by coffee, or going to a market or a picnic. The one poll survey found that on average, a first date should last a little less than 3 hours and should take respondents about 4 dates to feel comfortable with that person.
Isn't a picnic dining?
Yeah, but if you're in a park and you can run away, I don't think that's the same. I don't know. I really don't know what the rules are. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help you protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know life is a little strange these days for French speakers? Because in French, have you heard of Chat GPT?
Yeah.
If you say that in French, when you say that, Chat GPT in French, it sounds like a phrase that's not necessarily a great phrase.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The first part is cat, and I'm not going to say the rest of it.
Okay.
So it doesn't really make any sense, but they say every time they come across this in English media or they catch part of that conversation when somebody's talking about Chat GPT, that does sound French when you say that.
It kind of does.
People are saying, it's hard to keep a straight face because of what they're saying.
Huh.
And anyway, I'm not going to say what it is. If you want to read it, it's in the show notes. I'm just not going to go there. We're not 12-year-olds. We're not going to be juvenile. Okay, I am quite juvenile, but I don't want to get in trouble. That's what I meant to say. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Margot Robbie could have starred in American Horror Story Asylum, but she did not get the part. Casting director spoke about seeing her in action during a test for the second season of the FX series in 2012. In a podcast interview, he said Margot had a lot of it factors. But when they did it, they ended up using somebody else, and then she went on to do other stuff. I don't know if you ever heard of this one. It's called the Barbie movie.
Apparently, I've heard something. I've heard rumblings.
And there's no end to Barbie's magic tricks. Monday of last week, the movie passed the 1.342 billion mark. Now has been it passed Harry Potter. It passed a whole bunch of other stuff.
And I have still not seen it.
I know. And I have a guest that I'm going to be chatting with about the Barbie book. So she wrote the book like 10 years ago, and it's because of her book that this movie has become so huge. It's not? Okay.
Probably
well,
not.
you have to prove that it's not. I can just say whatever I want to say. Anyway, Barbie is doing really well in the theaters. We're going to chat with a guest about the book coming up.
Do you cringe when you get your mobile phone bill? Mint Mobile can help. Just $15 a month for premium wireless. Give your family a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone to Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That is far less than most people are paying. Just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. A Growing Pains reboot is in the works.
Really?
Yeah, so Growing Pains, who was in
I
that
don't
one?
know how I feel about Kirk Cameron
Okay.
and Alan Thicke.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
I don't know
who
how
that
I
is now.
feel about that.
What don't you like about? Did you not like that, or do you did
I
like
loved
it?
the show. I
Okay.
don't know how I feel about a reboot. Why
maybe-
can't we just come up with something new? And
Maybe Kirk Cameron will be the dad.
he
in this
won't.
one?
I guarantee you he won't.
Okay, well, I don't know how you know what's going on, but
Because he's flat out said he's denounced the show and a lot of the messages and refused to do certain things on the show. And
okay, well, I don't know.
I was a
what's gonna happen.
fan. I'm just saying. I was a fan.
So you're saying you are in the know. You get the newsletter. I got it. Okay. Moving on. Okay, back to school season can be tough on kids. Back to school season can also be tough on other members of the family, like the furry variety. Yeah, not mom and dad. We're talking about the family dog. Animal behavioralist Sarah Boisery said that after a summer of tagging along with two-legged siblings, the doggo has to adjust to long days alone. When the kids get home, they'll probably have a new friend or two to play with. They'll have some homework to do, and they're going to do those things rather than play fetch. And that can leave your puppy feeling down in the dumps. So this lady advises...
Our puppy is definitely struggling right now.
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with school.
No, but it does have to do with being left alone. We've been very
spent more
busy.
time away, and we used to bring our puppy to the office, and we don't do that as
Yep.
much. So yeah, we should maybe. Well, here, let's listen to what her advice is. The
Okay.
expert. She advises that we save some patience for our puppies because they may misbehave as a reaction to all of this. To help manage the transition, she has some suggestions, including practice leaving your dog alone ahead of time, creating a safe space for your dog to go to during the day, and staying calm during your departure and arrival times. So that's one of the things I think you do wrong. We come in here like, oh, it's and our dog gets all excited and she wets herself. And the dog, not Heidi. I just want to make sure I explain that. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. If you're looking for a new opportunity, South Dakota is calling. There's over 27,000 open jobs at this very moment. Whether you like the city life or if you're more of a fan of the rural lifestyle, South Dakota has plenty to offer. From the Black Hills and the Badlands on the west side of the state to the rolling prairies in the middle with many small towns and the city of Sioux Falls on the eastern edge, there's no state income tax in South Dakota and many job opportunities. Learn more about what's waiting for you in South Dakota at movetosd.com. That's movetosd.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit with author Robin Gerber. She's got a book out. It's called Barbie and Ruth, the story of the world's most famous doll and the woman who created her. And this book has been around a little longer than that movie, right?
Well, this book actually goes back to 2010 when I discovered this woman, Ruth Handler, who founded Mattel and realized that mostly nobody knew who she was.
And I really love this. The name's Barbie and Ken. Well, there's a story behind that, right?
Yes, she named the doll after her daughter, who was named Barbara, and Ken was the name of her son. I'm not sure how happy they were about that, but...
And think about those names, Barbie and Ken. Because of your book, because of the dolls, because of this movie, those names are huge, and that movie's huge.
It may be the biggest grossing movie of all time, but it's certainly moving toward that. And it's a worldwide phenomenon, not just here in the United States, because, of course, Barbie dolls are sold somewhere in the world every second. They used to say 3 were sold every second. Now it must be 10.
And this movie that's done quite well, how has that impacted the book sales? Are you selling more books now?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And the thing that's nice, now there's a whole new fan base and people who want to know more about Barbie and the lady who created Barbie. You literally wrote the book on that.
Yes, I did. And it seems to still be the only one out there. Ruth Handler did write her own autobiography. But let's just say, as people do with their own story, it's not quite as accurate.
I could see how maybe your own opinion of yourself would probably be different than maybe what everybody else thinks. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Again, we're visiting right now with Robin Gerber, and her book is called Barbie and Ruth, the story of the world's most famous doll and the woman who created her. This book has been out for about a decade now, so way before people were interested because of the movie. But what was it that got you interested a decade ago in writing a book about Barbie and her creator?
Well, I write about women, and I had written a book about Eleanor Roosevelt, Leadership the Eleanor Roosevelt Way, and I'd written a book about Katharine Graham, who was the publisher of the Washington Post newspaper during the Watergate scandal. And so I was looking for another woman to write about, and I found Ruth mentioned in a book about women executives, women corporate leaders. And I was shocked because I'd never heard of her, and it just seemed like we ought to, if we know about Walt Disney, we ought to know about Ruth Handler.
Absolutely. I agree completely. So as you were putting this together, where would one even start? Is it hard to track down the information that you needed to write a book about this topic?
Well, that's a really great question. A librarian at Harvard had contacted Ruth before she died and said, could we have your papers? And so all of her papers were at the Schlesinger Library at Harvard. So that made it a lot easier. I spent quite a bit of time in those archives.
And here we sit in 2023 where it seems like the answer to everything is a click away on a computer. But a lot of the information that you're talking about happened way before computers. So I'm assuming that would make it a little more challenging to find all of the information you're looking for.
Well, yes, I actually had to go and look at real documents, which actually I think is really fun. And I always enjoy doing that. But it was fun. For instance, I found in the Schlesinger Library the receipts from the first doll that Ruth bought that looked like the Barbie doll that she found in Germany on a trip to Europe. It's fun to look at actual archives and not just the internet.
I love that. So you're telling me she found a doll in Germany that predated Barbie, but that's kind of what it was based on and inspired by?
Yes. She actually copied the doll from what she found. It was in a toy store it was Loser in Switzerland. And this doll had been created based on a cartoon character named Bill Lilly. And Bill Lilly was effectively a prostitute.
Oh, wow.
And the cartoonist decided that men would enjoy having an actual doll based on the cartoon that they could hang from their rear view mirror, that kind of thing. And the doll worked its way into toy stores. That's where Ruth found it.
I love that. That and so much more to learn inside your book. Thank you for taking the time to put this book together about that doll that's become so doggone popular lately.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Again, our guest today is Robin Gerber, and the book is called Barbie and Ruth, the story of the world's most famous doll and the woman who created her. Again, I love the fact that this book is from like 10 years ago, but now there's this new level of excitement about it because of the movie. And there is so much to learn if you want to know more about Barbie in this book, Barbie and Ruth. I've got a link to it to make it really easy to find in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
It's more important now than ever before to have a better credit card. We would love to help at bettercreditcards.com. We offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we can help you find a good fit for you at bettercreditcards.com.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to bettercreditcards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In 2013, a surgeon in the United Kingdom was convicted of assault after branding his initials into 2 patients' livers during a transplant. That seems a bit odd.
How would you find that out?
I don't know. Somebody else was checking his work, and they're like, apparently Michael did this. I see his initials right there. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It's an entire lifetime. In their entire lifetime, the average worker bee produces 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. An entire lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah. That doesn't seem like a lot of honey. But those bees are like, it seems like a lot to me. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
On average, a 150-pound person burns 114 calories per hour while standing there doing nothing. That's pretty good.
That's if you're standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
Forest fires move faster uphill than downhill. Well, that's weird. And our final fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
Armadillo shells are bulletproof. Good to know.
Really?
Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help you protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Now, the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. A survey showed 37% of women and 17% of men who don't have this secretly wish they did. What is it?
A tattoo.
No. Close, though. A piercing.
Ah.
So similar but different. So, and I know, completely different things. But yeah, a piercing. So there's 37% of women and 17% of men who don't have piercings wish they had a piercing. Okay, well, go get one then? I don't know. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com.
Do you cringe when you get your mobile phone bill? Mint Mobile can help. Just $15 a month for premium wireless. Give your family a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone to Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That is far less than most people are paying. Just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Medical experts say they're not fans of the practice of parents tossing their baby in the air because of ceiling fans.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense, too. Each year, about 2,300 children in the United States are treated for head injuries caused by ceiling fans. 2,300 a year? That's a lot. Even more concerning, experts note that many ceiling fan injuries go unreported, which means the number of injuries is probably even higher. Lacerations were found to be the most commonly treated ceiling fan injury, with ER doctors tending to cuts in 3 out of 5, 60% of the cases. But more serious injuries like concussions and skull fractures are also reported. Head injuries should always be inspected, and children should be monitored for worrying signs. And here's a good idea. Don't throw your kid into a ceiling fan.
Or into a doorway. Do you remember we had some company over one night and she threw her kid up and
Bonked
smacked his
his
head really hard on the door frame?
I did that same thing to my brother Joe. So,
Well.
if you know Joe, you understand. Didn't mean to. All right. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. This is kind of a morbid thing. I'm thinking I don't even want to read this, but the recent death of Bob Barker at age 99 brought this list up. It's called the Death List 2023. 50 celebrities chosen by a death list committee in the United Kingdom.
Yikes.
Before the beginning of every year they do this. So it's not just now, but they've been doing this now for 20 years. And 11 of the 50 have passed away so far this year. So on the list, I'm not going to do the whole list, but the top 10, Mel Brooks, 97, was one. He's still alive, I believe. I haven't heard anything. Harry Belafonte did die. He was number 9. Number 8, Dick Cheney is on the list. Tony Bennett was on the list, number 7. He died at 97. Jimmy Carter, 99. Nigel Smith, a rugby commentator, is 79. Alan Greenspan, 97. Bob Barker did pass away at 99. Henry Kissinger is 100, and Dick Van Dyke is 98. So that's the top 10. This is kind of a sick idea, this death list
It
thing.
really kind of is.
But there's several other people who did pass away that are on this list. And again, I've got the list in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you're looking for a new opportunity, South Dakota is calling. There's over 27,000 open jobs at this very moment. Whether you like the city life or if you're more of a fan of the rural lifestyle, South Dakota has plenty to offer. From the Black Hills and the Badlands on the west side of the state to the rolling prairies in the middle with many small towns and the city of Sioux Falls on the eastern edge, there's no state income tax in South Dakota and many job opportunities. Learn more about what's waiting for you in South Dakota at movetosd.com. That's movetosd.com. Now your quote of the day comes your way courtesy of insurancechicken.com. Anonymous quote today, Heidi. Anonymous quote.
Okay.
Insomnia sharpens your math skills because you spend all night calculating how much sleep you'll get if you're able to fall asleep.
That is so true.
Right now.
All the time.
2 hours and 43 minutes. Okay, now 2 hours and 36 minutes, 35 minutes, 34 minutes. Been there, done that. Quote of the day comes your way courtesy of insurancechicken.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. I love this story. I think it's a really, really cool story. Teen fisherman reels in a wallet containing $2,000.
Whoa.
And finds the owner.
How sweet is that?
Remarkable stroke of luck. A teenager fishing in Minnesota reeled in a big one, but it wasn't a fish. It was a wallet with $2,000 cash. Connor Halsa, 14, was on a family fishing outing, Lake of the Woods, scenic 1,727 square mile lake, kind of near the Canadian-United States boundary.
Okay.
And it said, I thought I had a huge fish, so I set the hook really hard, and it was no fish. It was a wallet, and it was full of money. It said my cousin opened the wallet, and he said some words I probably shouldn't say. And he showed everyone. We took the money out, and we let it dry. Inside was $2,000 cash.
Wow.
My dad said we should give it to the person, and I said, yeah, we probably should. Connor and his family found a business card inside the wallet. They made a call that would lead them to a guy by the name of Jim Denny, an Iowa farmer who had been fishing on the lake a year ago, and he had dropped his wallet overboard. The odds of ever finding or hooking a billfold in 20 feet of water.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't even think there's a number, they said.
Pretty slim.
Denny made the trip from Iowa to Moorhead, Minnesota, where he met up with his family, offered to give Connor some money. The teen said, you know what? No, I'm not taking your money. He goes, no, take the money. No, I'm not going to take the money. This went on for a while, but we don't have that kind of time.
Back and forth.
To meet people like that who are honest, he said, I tried to get them to take the money and they just wouldn't do it. He said, I would take Connor as a grandson any day. I would fight for him any day, said the gentleman. And I think that is really, really cool. And yeah, he didn't get a reward, even though the guy tried to give it to him, but he got instead a really good friend. I love that. And
an eternal reward if he continues his life like that.
I think, kiddo, you keep doing what you're doing and you got good things in your future. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Oh, I want to just say, if Heidi had found that, you wouldn't be hearing this story.
Oh, no.
If I found it, you would definitely be hearing this story.
That is true.
I just know Heidi. She's just like, no, I'm not telling anybody.
But I'd have some really nice new clothes.
She'd be throwing me overboard. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.